Hello there, guys. Welcome back to another episode of Juan on Juan. It's your host, Juan. We are going to be doing another video this week. It's my Tuesday Juan on Juan sessions. Um, this week, we're going to be talking about week seven, our analysis of it. A couple of key things that I saw happen, some of my input into what I saw and how I perceived it. And with that being said, let's just dive right in, guys. We're gonna start off this week by talking about the Thursday night game, last Thursday, which was the Denver Broncos versus the Kansas City Chiefs, divisional game, and Patrick Mahomes randomly, I want to say maybe Wednesday or Thursday, finally, I right talking started to come out that it was something wrong with his ankle. Something was off. Something was amiss with it. I hadn't heard anything of it. I thought he was completely healthy. So going into it, you know that there's something wrong with his ankle. And immediately off the bat, it's a high scoring game. Broncos drive it, opening drive. They run it in a little touchdown to Freeman. Um, and it was off and running. Kansas City came right back, threw a bomb to, I believe it was Tyreek. Um, and and like I said, we were back. They scored. Actually, I don't want to say it was Tyreek. Let me see who it was exactly. Maybe I was right. Or maybe no, the McCole Hardman one was the first one. Yeah, sorry, I confused them between them two a little bit. So going into the ending of the first quarter, it's a third and one, on the plus side of the ball for Kansas City. So they're on Denver side of the ball, um, and they go for a QB sneak, and can't really tell you how. Never really seen anything like that. Only play that kind of reminds me similar of it was the Carson Wentz injury when he dove into the end zone and two players kind of like hit him in opposite ways and he somehow popped his ACL. But as you saw the pile dispersing, you saw our MVP on top of another lineman, literally stone, like rock, like not moving at all, and you knew something was wrong. The trainers immediately ran into the field. From what I saw, um, it was kind of gruesome. I don't think I'm gonna be able to find a video for it, um, just because they had to pop in his kneecap. Like it was not. Yeah, it was not a pretty sight. They had to pop in his kneecap back in. So obviously he messed up his knee. Um, what they're estimating is they're gonna go based off of 3 weeks. Um, 3 weeks they're gonna see where his knee is again. They're not doing surgery, and from that they're gonna try to bring him back. Um, Very interesting that as a team, as a unit, they cohesively came back and actually completely dominated the Broncos right after that. Their defense, which was been Swiss cheese the last, I'd say the last 5 years really, but since I would say since Eric Berry started to have his injuries and everything like that, they came in and they had a fumble recovery for a touchdown. I believe they had a couple fumbles. Let me see if I can find it. Broncos Flacco. Nope. But ultimately, they ended up winning the game. Their leader is out for the next 3 weeks, at least. I mean, Pat McAfee was talking about that injury happened to him, and it's excruciatingly painful. So it might be a pain tolerance thing. Which brings me to my next point, and this is a very controversial talking point at this moment because it's very sensitive and there's a lot of information that's out there that's going one way or the other, and the other, excuse me. So it's something that it seems like both player and team are kind of dropping things to the media. Um, Synopsis, Kalichi Osemele, he's an offensive lineman. He was with, from what I remember, the Raiders for years. He finally went to the Jets. It's man, it's kind of weird because he uh he got fined 200K for conduct detrimental to the team because he's telling the team that his shoulder's really messed up, that he can't practice, he can't play on it anymore. He hasn't played that since I believe September, and he came out the first week of September and said something was wrong with me. Look, so Osemele refused to practice Saturday after being told Friday he would be fine if he did not do so. Osemele contends he needs surgery to repair a torn labrum and said he physically cannot play because of the pain he's suffering in his shoulder. Uh, it's been killing me, he said. I'm just trying to get this done. I've done everything I can. I've been at work every day, waking up at 5 in the morning, doing all the rehab and the treatments and stuff like that. I'm like the last dude out of here at night. I'm doing everything I can. I'm working with my agent. We're communicating with the team. There's just not communication between the team and my doctor and my agent. It's just been butting heads for whatever reason. Hopefully it gets resolved. He just appeared on the injury report on the 2nd. And this is what Assembly has been claiming, is that he's talked to two doctors, including a Jets doctor, and he has told him that he needs surgery, but the team has not approved the operation. The two doctors have said that he can play through the injury, but he would have to have the surgery done when the season is over. So they're telling him you're gonna need surgery regardless, one way or the other. You might be able to play through it, is what they're saying. We've seen in the past people have been able to, but if he wants to be healthy and be 100% and earn his paycheck, because ultimately the Jets, if let's say he goes out there and performs mediocre, they could cut him. Probably doesn't have that much guaranteed money, and then he's stuck in this loophole of what now I'm not. Who's gonna pay for the surgery? Who's gonna cover it? So I get the player 110% on this. It's weird to me that the Jets are in fact reacting this way, because it's like it's almost trying to force him to play hurt, but he's hurt. Does not. It really just doesn't make sense to me at all. They're violating the collective bargaining. That I could tell you for sure with that. Oh, and here's another one that I actually really want to talk about. Osemele came out originally and said that he's receiving Toradol shots, and that's an injection that they put wherever your pain obviously is. It's a painkiller, and it kills your pain completely. It's one of those shots that's approved for the NFL, but public people really kind of don't get anything done like that. Um, so he's been getting these shots, but he just appeared on the injury report on October 2nd. So there's obviously a misconnection where the team might get fined for not actually being compliant with the injury reports and things of that nature. I find it even more interesting that the Jets are known for this, because they actually had this same issue. Jets. NFL looking into Brett Favre comments that the Jets knew about torn bicep tendon but wasn't on injury reports. So they're already kind of known for this. I believe they got docked some penalties for some. Yeah, they got docked with penalties, obviously, but I'm saying draft picks. So very interesting, and I'll tie this into my next point, being Trent Williams. What is Trent Williams' issue, huh? Well, I did a little bit of research. Trent Williams had cancer last year, had a tumor. That's cancerous. The team wanted for him to continue to play and have the surgery to remove it after the season. He was very upset about that. He's very, very upset that it's not even coming down to money at this point. He just doesn't like how the club handled his medical situation. and he just hates how the media and everything is portraying it as well, because it's almost like if he's wrong, but all he wants is his release, because he doesn't want to be on this team anymore. He probably doesn't want to give this. He probably wants to get traded just so he can keep the same contract. Um, but if he doesn't trust his team with medical stuff, I mean, damn, I mean, who the hell can you trust? But it's very interesting that these players are having these issues. Um, I just I don't know how that ends up. I don't know how that ends up going. I find it very peculiar. We're gonna keep our eyes on this, and see what else we get out of that. Just to lighten up the mood a little bit, I wanted to show you guys a clip of the fight that Devontae Freeman and Aaron Donald had. Very. You guys tell me what you think.
Not surprised at all the frustration level.
Let's see the full one.
Times in this game. Okay, here's the scuffle we're talking about. Face masks being grabbed. It's Devontae Freeman, who's not a big guy, against Aaron Donald, who most certainly is a big, strong, tough guy. Takedown by the official. Look at this one, though. Donald and Freeman head-to-head, and then Donald lifts him up like Darth Vader did to the insubordinate general in Star Wars.
Stop it, he said. He said, stop it. Oh, my goodness. That was like, oh. That was like a Jose Bautista moment. Like, bro, stop it. Get the hell out of here. Whew, that was good. All right, let's talk about Mr. State Farm, whatever you want to call it, championship belt, whatever. Boy, had a day. Woo. So Devontae Adams missed this game. So it was just Scotland was questionable. Allison was questionable too. And I don't know how the hell they were planning to throw the ball, but they did it. They threw it crazily. He ended up having, let me see here. He threw for 5 TDs. I know he ran for 1. Had a perfect quarterback rating. So very cool. Very very dope to see him doing that. I want to see if I can get you guys one of these videos. And this was like a sticking point throughout the regular season, the off season, because they didn't know how these two were going to mesh, but they seem like they're doing fine.
Pretty special right here now. First time in Packer history a guy completes a game with a perfect passer rating.
So that's cool. It's cool to see that relationship start to grow. Remember though, winning is what always does this. Because if they were losing, I don't think that's gonna fly. Another career day for another player was Mr. Marvin Jones. Started off the day with the 1 o'clock game, starting a 3 TD first half. So congratulations to anybody who started Marvin Jones. If you lost, you suck. I can't even break this down to you more. He ended up with a 4th touchdown. So, and I believe he had 100 yards, or he might have had a 93. That's what it was. 10 catches, 93 yards, and 4 TDs. So, once again, I reiterate, if you started him and you lost, you suck. Let's continue. Ooh, let's talk about my Ravens. I'm gonna just end up becoming a Ravens fan for real. It was just a great game to see. They all joined up together. They got Earl this win. They got Earl Thomas's W for him, and man, I just love to see it. Lamar was left and right, running up and down, changing its cleats. I loved it. I loved it. Another 100-yard game for Lamar. Ended up a touchdown, 8.3 yards a carry. He had a deep ball early to Miles Boykin for like a 50-yard bomb. That was good to see. It really started off kind of slow because it was a field goal game kind of early, and then the TD started to come in the second quarter, and then you saw third quarter come out, and then the Ravens just kind of separated themselves with their defense, surprisingly, because Peters had a pick six, and then I think there was a fumble too, a fumble back by Marlon. Yeah, Marlon Humphrey ended up taking a fumble back to the house too. So I absolutely love Lamar. I've talked about it at length. There's even I'm so glad I looked up this article because they were tied 13-13. It was 4th and 2 at the 8-yard line, I want to say. They ended up getting stopped short, so it was 4th and 2. They come out of the field, and then John Harbaugh looks at Lamar and says, "You won't." Let me find it. Hold. Trying not to show you guys too much of what I'm gonna show you. So this was the play that ultimately resulted from it. And I'm just trying to find it. Let's go over here. Oh yeah, coach, let's go for it. Let's go.
Jackson.
Oh, I love this kid, man. This kid is
Touchdown run by Lamar Jackson on 4th and 2.
I absolutely adore this kid, man. He's such a positive kid. He's everything you're gonna want in a quarterback. And this is really perfect. This is what the Ravens drafted Lamar Jackson for, man. It was all damn day that they fucking ran this kid up and down the field, man. It was insane. I had it right here anyway. It was insane. Let me show you some of these runs. Baldy was breaking it down.
For
Give him a
MVP.
shout out.
Why not? He was the best player on the field on Sunday by far. Jamar Taylor on the blitz. Full speed. Lamar Jackson hit the gas. He gets out. He outruns the two defensive linemen right there, Jefferson and Green. He's flailing. He's just trying to stay in bounds. Turf Monster trips him up after 28 yards. Most of his runs were just scrambles, like that one. How about this one right here? Play action. You got 3 Seattle Seahawks right here.
Look at this.
Yeah, they got him trapped, right? Nah.
Bye.
Shakes off Kendricks, puts the ball in the other hand, shifts gears, changing lanes on the 405 in LA, gets down for 13. How about this right
Ridiculous,
here?
bro.
Lamar Jackson. Just one of the few designed runs all day. Ride, glide,
Bye.
and decide.
Mine.
Wagner's right there. He's seen this a lot. No? 8 yards there.
Iced the game.
How about this?
By the way.
4th and 2.
That's the
What do the Ravens do? Wide receivers, who needs them?
running back.
Running backs, who needs them? Just put it in Lamar Jackson's hands on 4th and 2. This is the best part. The best part is this.
There's running backs.
Skura.
There's starting running backs
Zeus.
in this league that can't do
Yanda. Look at Yanda sprint. I think they're sprinting after the MVP. Watch the play from the end zone. Offensive line get after their MVP. Lamar Jackson gets out and does this flip
that I told you about.
to Miles Boykin for 50.
So you guys know how I feel about Lamar. I freaking love Lamar. Everything about him. His story. He's a Broward kid. I'm a Broward kid, so I can definitely relate to it. And he's just an animal and a good kid at heart. He really is. The way he speaks, I love it. I love it. Let me see what else. Let's talk about. We're gonna close it up with our winless teams and our undefeated teams, just because I kind of found that niche in that. Dolphins actually led for a while in this one. They ended up losing 21-31 to the Bills. They ended up leading for like 26 minutes, which is surprising. Fitzpatrick almost had 3 bills. He only had that 1 TD though. Walton had a pretty good day. He was definitely the lead ball handler. 14 carries, 66 yards. I don't think he had one. He had one catch for -8 yards. So there you go. Preston Williams, another good game. 6 catches, 82 yards, no TDs. Parker, 5 catches, 55, and a touchdown. Not much to say here. Another loss. It's kind of leading up to where week 16 is gonna be super important because it's gonna be the Bengals versus the Dolphins, and realistically, whoever loses wins, and whoever wins loses on that one. So, they ended up losing as well on this. The Bengals, they're 0-7. So very interesting. Just a lot of season left to be played out. I know the Dolphins play the Pittsburgh Steelers next on Monday night at Pittsburgh. The Bengals, let me double check. The Bengals play the Rams, so you already know. That's actually cute. It's gonna be a little protege game for Zach Taylor. You know, he was under this McVay guy for a while, so it's cool to see. And then our undefeated is going to be the 49ers. It was a nasty game. Rained all game, sideways, hail, all that stuff. Wind. So it was a 9-0 game. Really boring game. I'm not even going to really break this down. But, yeah, they're still undefeated. I know the Niners play, I think they play a good team next. They play the Panthers next. So interesting to see how that goes. I think that might really be their first test of the year. The Rams were kind of like sputtering at that point, so I don't really want to give them credit for that, but we'll see. And then last but not least, the Patriots, who just destroyed the Jets last night, 33-0. It really wasn't even as close as it looks, if that even makes sense. And I grew up a Dolphins fan. I'm not really a Dolphins fan anymore. I just keep up with them like an ex-girlfriend, I guess you could say. And the Patriots are 7-0, and they just move differently than people, man. It just is really funny to me because they just never stop working. That was last night, that shellacking that they put on them. And this morning they come in here. And I wake up 6 in the morning, 7 in the morning. They're acquiring Mohamed Sanu. I just don't even know what in whose name would, like, why would what would possess you? Look at this one. If you guys know me, I love The Office. So shout out to The Office. That's a good one. And I found this interesting too. Just gonna go through some tweets that I liked throughout the last couple days.
Trainer put his home for sale.
Ooh.
Yeah. Again, let's just boil this down to the basic facts. Once again, when we talk about Tom and his future, let's look at some simple things. Has he put his home for sale?
Yeah, but
Hold on, Steve. Has he put his home for sale? Yes. Has his trainer put his home for sale? Yes. Has he set up his contract to void after the season to become a free agent? Yes. So if he's selling his home and his trainer's selling his home and he's voiding his contract, what does that tell you?
it tells you that he's now recognizes in the NFL that you can play much longer
I
because
don't know what Steve Young's talking about at that point, but I just found that very interesting. Would Brady leave? I don't know. I don't know what situation would maybe San Francisco? I don't. Why? I mean, where's he from? I mean, he went to Michigan. Oh, he's gonna go play for the Steelers. I don't know. It might be coincidences. I'm somebody who does not believe in coincidences. I believe everything happens for a reason. So it's hard for me to speculate on that. But that's a couple very interesting tidbits. This was last night's game. And this dude, Sam Darnold, is out here talking about I'm seeing ghosts. That was terrible. How good? I really don't even understand how good they are. This was a pretty messed up moment. Oh no, that's not the one. Not even gonna. Oh, here it is. So this is the first play where it started the issue.
So you take away the 31.
And if I see that play, I'm thinking, all right, Tariq, you got it. You won that game. Sean Payne's out here talking about look at the score, but they're going to over here make fun of his height. And this is Tariq's response, but he had a free hit, didn't smack shit, then got his ass ran over. I'm short, but he's small as hell. I like that. I like that response. And then you can't tell me this dude is small. Like, look what he did to Dante Fowler. Completely annihilated him. And that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you guys for tuning into another episode. Really have enjoyed doing this. Gonna continue to do this. Last week I had like a little mini crisis episode that I needed to drop during the week. Hopefully we get something like that. I know NBA season starts. I'm not sure I want to talk about that because that's a lot. I'm really just trying to focus on NFL. Sometimes we can talk about stuff from the NBA. Something crazy happens. And that's it, guys. Take care.